It was just that I didn't get along with some of the people he ran with.
Yeah.
You know, some of the people that was with Cash Money, like I told you, you know, all your friends ain't my friends.
Certain artists, you know, Cash Money No Limit, that shit was real.
Yeah.
You know, they ain't fuck with us, we ain't fuck with them.
Magnolia Project.
Nah, that shit real.
Right.
That shit.
The beef I had with Calio Project, I had a gun, I named it Calio. This was my favorite gun. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try to kill as many people I can with this Calio gun.
Because I was in the streets, and I thought this might be the last time they ever see me. The last time they ever see me.
I go to work with my chop, just get mad, you fuck with that cash in your ass, grab, take 9, chop oozes and cage, black down on 7, I'm crucified edges when I kill, you're gonna be clean. And I'm saying murder has to sing, I'm gonna be a young killer.
Take a look at this mural painted by prison inmates on Rose Tavern in the Calio projects of New Orleans. It's dedicated to Randall Watts, or better yet, Caleb Slim, who was Master P's cousin. Randall's reputation as a hired hitman dragged fear in the hearts of residents in the 3rd Ward of New Orleans. And one day, while he's looking to carry out a hit, he was run up on and shot 20 times just a few steps away from his favorite spot, Rose Tavern, hence the mural.
Gangsta! Gangsta!
A G, a gangster. Street talk for a tough guy, has died. Randall Watts was a suspected murderer and drug dealer, gunned down in a drive-by shooting. His friends take him into his hangout, Rose Tavern, for one last round.
The shooting took place at the height of the no-limit Cash Money beef, and rumor has it that Master P had a $100,000 hit out on Terrence Gangsta Williams' head, the alleged triggerman and Birdman's half-brother. Now for all this to make sense, we have to travel back to 1994, where it all began. So strap your seatbelt, because this is No Limit vs Cash Money, and how one kiss between two men left Master P in the dust and Birdman with a record label worth $1 billion. The year is 1994. OJ is in his white Ford Bronco fleeing the police. Nelson Mandela was elected as the first black president in South Africa, and meanwhile, New Orleans is about to have the highest crime rate ever recorded. This is in no way a means to glorify the gang violence embedded in the city, but with a poverty-stricken community where unemployment is high, comes a large distribution of drugs, and with drugs comes territories, and if you're at the wrong place at the wrong time. A similar fate that same year left Mosquito from Magnolia shot and killed in Caliope. He was one of the original hot boys before Lil Wayne and BG, but don't take my word for it, here it is from the horse's mouth. No, not that horse.
And we all actually wound up forming the Hot Boy clique in 1994.
And after drug deal gone wrong and one fatality between Magnolia and Caliope, war was on the horizon, and the catalyst was Gangsta's best friend, Mosquito, who was shot 20 times.
The first one to die was Mosquito. He had went in the Calio project. All right, one of their friends was killed, and they felt that it was Mosquito, Sterling, myself that had to do it. And Mosquito went back there thinking it was all good, and they shot him up like 20-something times.
Only after then do you have the death of Master P's cousin, Randall Watts, who was actually the alleged gunman responsible for the death of Mosquito. At around this time, Birdman's focus was deviating from the streets. He and Cash Money were gearing up for UNLV's release of Straight Outta the Gutter and grooming this young boy he believed was his ticket to the big time. But Master P was out for blood, and the $100,000 bounty for the head of Terrence was set. He was shot on multiple occasions, but he lived. The NOPD never found the men responsible for either homicides because no witnesses would come forward. I keep that motherfucking heater on me, that's why no nigga don't come fucking with me. This is a lyric by Soulja Slim on his single Heater on Me. He's one of Master P's highest selling artists. You wouldn't be mistaken not to think much of the line, but I'll tell you how Soulja Slim not adhering to this one line caused a ripple effect that not only left him shot dead in 2003, but how it also left 5 people, including a Cash Money artist, dead throughout 9 years. I promise I cannot make this up. Take my hand and I'll show you. Well, maybe don't take my hand, since the majority of my audience are all men. Okay, it's November the 26th, 2003. At this point in my life, I'm still a baby, just about to turn 12 months. But that same night, Soulja Slim hops out of his truck and is making his way into his mother's house on LaFay Street in Gentilly, leaving that heater he so proudly proclaims on numerous songs behind. Before he can walk in, he's ambushed by 2 men and shot 3 times in the head and once in the chest. The police named Gerald Jigger Smith and Stephen Kennedy as the alleged gunmen, and investigators found bullet casings from a .40 caliber pistol that matched the same pistol Gerald had stolen from a police officer's house. But he was never charged with the murder because the New Orleans Article 701 of the Criminal Code states if a witness that is willing to testify isn't presented after 60 days, all charges are to be dropped. Nobody came forward because in New Orleans, the walls are littered with graffiti that states snitches get stitches and nobody's trying to get shot. Investigators also believe the 2 men were paid a whopping $10,000 to do the hit on Soulja Slim over a dispute with a rival label. Now remember, this is public information and I'm not trying to point any fingers at said rival label. It's August 2005. And this happens.
Waters are gonna rise on the East
Lots
Bank.
of people are stranded here.
I didn't think this had turned out to be Armageddon. I was wrong.
102. I need someone out here, ma'am. I'm gonna die in this attic.
How terrible Katrina really was. And what a colossal fiasco.
We are gonna die out here if they do not see somebody out here right now.
A ton of residents leave New Orleans and migrate to Houston in the wake of the hurricane. Houses were left behind, cars, even people would tragically die as Katrina wreaked havoc on the city. But you know the gangs couldn't leave one thing behind: the beefs. And the deadly and bloody gang war would find a new foothold in Houston, which leads us to the murder of Gerald's accomplice in the murder of Soulja Slim, Stephen Kennedy, who was gunned down by Ivory B. Stupid and Jerome Man Hampton as retaliation for the murder of Soulja Slim. The 2 men were part of the DBs, a gang that was formed by Dooney, Terrence Gangsta's close friend, after he went to jail for conspiring to murder drug dealers from New York.
It didn't hit me that I had a life sentence to Hurricane Katrina to 2005. That's when it was like, I was like, whoa, you know, I'm never going home.
Ivory B. Stupid pleaded guilty to manslaughter, but no charges came back on his accomplice, Jerome. And you best believe Gerald was itching for some revenge for the slaying of his right-hand man. But he'd have to wait 5 more years before he'd get his revenge. Which brings us to the winter of 2010. 2/3 of the people have returned to New Orleans since everyone evacuated due to Katrina, and the beef is back in the streets of New Orleans, where it belongs.
Secret, we getting how we live in this thing, you understand? Born and raised from the ground to the fucking sky, you understand? Ain't no secret. Fuck a bitch, straight like that, you heard me? It's real over here.
It's real out here, you understand, man, my...
It's 5 days before Christmas, and Magnolia Shorty, an artist to Birdman's Cash Money label, is in a Chevrolet Malibu in the parking lot of the Georgetown of New Orleans housing complex. Beside her in the passenger seat is none other than Jerome Man Hampton. Whilst the two is talking, a car pulls up just beside them, and a hail of bullets is unloaded into Magnolia Shorty's car, leaving them both deceased.
WDSU sources confirmed tonight that one of the victims of a double murder in broad daylight earlier today was indeed a popular local rapper. Fans are turning to the internet to mourn the loss of the second female rapper to sign on with Cash Money Records, a national label that began here in the Crescent City.
Magnolia Shorty was hit 26 times and was pronounced dead at the scene, along with Jerome, with one gang member claiming Magnolia Shorty was collateral damage and the real target was Jerome for the murder of Stephen Kennedy 5 years ago in Houston. Collateral damage, outrageous. All 4 men were convicted. Birdman and Lil Wayne mourned the loss of Magnolia Shorty, who was actually given his stage name by Soulja Slim, who went by Magnolia Slim before signing with Master P. Master P must have hated Magnolia so much he had to have Slim drop the Magnolia out of his name. In the early mornings of August the 15th, 2011, police found 29-year-old Gerald Jigger Smith face down and shot dead on the 3500 block of Herrenberg Street. So yeah, that's how the murder of Soulja Slim in 2003 left a blood trail for Birdman, Master P, and the city of New Orleans as a whole. We really need to start putting some respect on this man's name.
Nigga, when my name come up, respect it.
Let's go.
Stop playing with my fucking name.
Birdman really turned blood money into $1 billion business. Early investments to fund Cash Money's aspirations came from Terrence Gangsta's money he made from selling heroin in the streets of New Orleans. And well into the 2000s, Baby and Slim were laughing to the bank as Universal came knocking at the door with a $30 million distribution deal where Cash Money retained 85% of all profits from album sales. 85%. and I believe the love and relationship he had with Lil Wayne encouraged him to do anything in his power to make sure Weezy was heard.
You and Wayne had like a kiss thing going on.
Facts.
So yeah, so like they wanted to know like what the deal was with that.
I always looked at Wayne as my son, and I always looked at it like, because I was in the streets, and I thought this might be the last time they ever see me.
Damn.
Because I was living like that.
And after he blew up, it kept Birdman off the streets for good, except the time he paid Pee-wee, Young Thug's friend, to shoot up Lil Wayne's tour bus. But that's a whole nother story. And as Birdman could finally say he made it, Master P was looking down a grim path because in the year 2000, his brother C-Murder released Trapped in Crime, not knowing he would actually be trapped in a crime 2 years later after police arrested him for the murder of 16-year-old Steve Thomas, a murder he's still trying to fight till this day. His album Trapped in Crime peaked at number 9, but after that, the downfall of No Limit was set in stone. And well after the two CEOs left New Orleans, their hatred for each other's projects has spun into a bloody war that is still active today between Bird Gang and the Kelly Yob Ghost Gang.